Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to Primetime Local News. We have a really exciting show for you. Brett Kitzel is once again joining us a little bit later on in the show. We also have a few wedding tips for anyone who's in the market for that. And then, question of the day, is it too soon for Christmas stuff to be out? What are your quick thoughts?
Quick thoughts, probably yes. I think a little bit too soon.
What about you?
No.
No.
Seems like we could all use some Christmas music at times. So it's like,
yeah, but for like 3 months straight?
Yeah, it's a lot.
I can handle it somewhat.
Okay, well, there you go. You still have time to weigh in on our question of the day. But first, we're going to go check in with our Gerard Lampow, who's checking out the Stockade Roundup.
It's the 40th Stockade Roundup here at the Lloydminster Exhibition Grounds, and of course it's been a tremendous time. Coming up in our newscast, we'll introduce you to the Dow family. They won the Cattleman of the Year award earlier on this afternoon. Of course, the bulls have been on tap, the cows have been on tap too all week for the last few days there. The excitement goes into the weekend, and along the way this evening, hopefully we'll give you the Supreme Bull Champion. So do stay with us. In the meantime, back to studio.
Flu shots have been in full swing for the last few weeks, and we are now starting to understand how effective this year's vaccine has been. It's believed that this year's vaccine has been very successful, even more than the past years.
What we're hearing from early forecasts this year is that the flu shot's expected to be anywhere from 70 to 80% coverage for what the influenza virus that we're expecting to see in the community this year, which is really positive because the last couple of years it's been below 50%.
Malik also stressed the importance of knowing the symptoms of influenza.
Influenza is usually accompanied with fever, chills. You also kind of feel like it's essentially one of the worst feelings you'll have in terms of an illness. You ache all over. It's like a very, very severe illness.
The Sprucewood Pharmacy will offer the flu shot up until the spring, and it's free along with valid Alberta or Saskatchewan healthcare. And 34% of Saskatchewan employees reported their debt load over the past year. And with the holiday season creeping closer, some people's debt could rise more. Credit cards, vehicle loans, and mortgage can all put you into debt. And 40% of working Canadians report feeling overwhelmed by their debt load. Christy Mezega from Synergy Credit Union says they are seeing people's debt load rise in the border city.
The convenience, and also just because cost of living is going up, we've just are coming out of an economic downturn where the majority of our economy and our community was affected by decreased wages or maybe job loss and layoffs.
Mezega says the holidays can add a significant amount of debt, but if shoppers are prepared, they can decrease the amount they put on.
Haven't already established a small savings plan to build up until Christmas time. We've got a few pay periods, if you're paid on a biweekly basis before Christmas hits, that people could start to put away a little bit of money.
If people are looking to manage their debt, Mezega suggests talking to your financial institution for help. And a local flower shop is spreading a little joy in the community by doing random acts of kindness. Kelly Lynn Joy, owner of Art of Flowers, has started something called Karma Fridays at her shop.
I always like to give back to the community and recognize people who do good things, because why not, right? It's always nice to be recognized for that. So that's what we did this past Friday. And we do give away a lot of flowers, so it doesn't happen every single Friday, but a few.
Joy will post on her own Facebook page about flower giveaways and also on community group Facebook pages, so keep an eye out for that. And if you know of someone who does a lot for the community or just needs a little pick-me-up, to make sure to nominate them so you can spread the love as well. And Bonnyville is all country tonight at the Rec Center, and Bonnyville celebrity Clayton Bellamy and the Roadhammers are hosting a fundraiser for his community. We head over to Justin Marshall now, who is live at the event.
Thanks, guys. Here at the Bonnyville C2 Live, where just a couple hours we're starting to filter people through. The Roadhammers going to be rocking the stage for the Bonnyville and District Fine Arts Society. Live here with Karita Vachon, the organizer who put this all together. Why did you put this together?
Well, because we needed to do some fundraising for the new theatre fund. As you know, the Lyle Victor Albert will soon be slated for demolition. Construction should be beginning, I think, in March 2019, at which time we will have no community theatre for this town. So we are fundraising for the new facility, wherever it'll be. We will need seats, lighting, sound, that kind of stuff. So that's why we're doing this.
What the old Lyle Victor Albert Center mean to you that's going to be taken down in April?
Well, it's a long-standing history for our family, particularly. When I grew up, it was the old gymnasium. I guess that's giving my age away. I remember when Lyle Victor Albert was first performing there. I was too shy back then to go on stage. Later on, it became near and dear for me and my mom. We used to participate often at the Bonnyville Country Opry. And she'd be quite proud and honored today to know that her granddaughter is performing tonight, and grandson.
Well, you can get your tickets still at the door at the C2 front desk. Show starts at 7:30. Thanks, Karita. We're going to send it back to you guys in studio.
And now we're going to head to Gerard, who is at the Stockade Roundup.
Stockade Roundup is in its 40th year. Black Diamond Acres are on board as the big sponsor. And Corey Duksha, who's representing the organizing team, is joining us for a chat. Corey, how's the year been?
The year's been a trying one, I'm not going to lie. Just the way the weather's been and everything else, harvest and everybody's been an absolute nightmare. So it's nice to see that we had the numbers show up that we have out here. We have close to 450 animals at this show. So we're down a little bit, but for the way the conditions have been, it's an excellent showing. And we're going to be starting here with the Supreme show here in moments. As you can hear in the background, they're just starting to talk about how everything's been going and the years that the show has been around. It's been just an amazing show for the community, bringing everybody together in a cattle business. It's one of the premier shows in Western Canada, in all of Canada for that matter, that is going on. So it's very exciting to be part of this show. They're going to get the Supreme show, and the Supreme show is every breed has their own show, and the grand champions of every show get to go into the Supreme show for one overall champion that will win the Coca-Cola prize at the end of the game. And they will also get entered into the Supreme qualifiers at two other shows at Edmonton Farm Fair and also at Regina at Agribition, which is the culmination of the show.
Yes, indeed. So that's an awesome situation to be involved in there. Corey Duksha will be joining us again a little later on. And of course, we will chat with some of the breeders and find out about their various genetics. And of course, Supreme Bull, hopefully somewhere before 7 o'clock this evening. Fingers crossed on that. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thank you so much, Gerard. Well, we saw the snow start to fall today, unfortunately. Not quite as much as Edmonton saw, and we shouldn't be getting quite as much. Currently sitting at -3, still some light flurry action in the area, but should be tapering off, and we are in for a warm-up tomorrow. But then, unfortunately, a cool down next week. But look at all this precipitation. Whole lot of it over to the west, and that was making its way into our region throughout the day. We are seeing on and off showers. We could continue to see that throughout the evening, but still going to be light flurries, nothing too heavy. No watches and warnings in effect, so no major snowfall warnings, even in Edmonton in those areas. No warnings in effect, which is great. Just make sure you are checking the road conditions before you head out on the roads, as some are partially covered at this moment. Current temperatures, though, -3 here in the border cities, 0 degrees in Edmonton, 1 in Edson, 6 in Jasper. As we move up the map a little bit cooler, -1 in Cold Lake, Athabasca, and also in Whitecourt. Sitting at -4 in Melfort, -4 also in Prince Albert. Saskatoon sitting at -1 and -4 for North Battleford. As we look to the broadcast regions, current temperatures, light flurry action also in North Battleford, -4. Overnight dipping down to -7. 3 degrees tomorrow only for the high with plenty of cloud cover. Winds are going to be a little bit stronger today, up into the 20-kilometer range, so it is going to feel a little bit cooler than those overnight lows. So tomorrow for Cold Lake, hitting -1 for the daytime high, -5 overnight, and 3 degrees. Still could see some light flurry action here in the border city. None for tomorrow, but we are going to be dipping into -7, a high of 3 degrees tomorrow, which means the snow shouldn't be sticking around. But Sunday, we do have a chance we could see some of that come back into play. 3 degrees for the high there. And then Monday, -3, and this is where we are going to see the cooling trend. But I'll have more details on that, plus a look at how much snow we could potentially be getting a little bit later in the show.
Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Welcome back. Well, the Lloydminster Agriculture Exhibition celebrates 40 years of hosting the Stockade Roundup. Our Cassandra Hornsby reports on 4 generations of 4-H members.
MJT Cattle Company brought out a large show string of Black Angus cattle at this year's Roundup. Mick Trefiak says he has been showing cattle here for more than 30 years.
This is a good show to come to. There's some of the best cattle in Canada probably around Lloydminster, and these cattle come to this show every year, and we haven't missed many shows come to Lloyd. It's good for us to market.
Trefiak says the Roundup exhibits their commercial cattle and shows potential buyers what they have to offer.
They might come back at your bull sale that you have. We have a bull sale in the spring, and they might, if there's something that they like there, they'll come back and maybe see what you have at the farm. So.
MJT Cattle Company does majority of their sales through their annual bull sale, but occasionally they have marketed their genetics at the show.
Here it's pretty local, and this is our bread and butter for selling our commercial bulls.
The Lloydminster exhibition says the number of Angus being exhibited in the barns is comparable to last year.
I think we just have a pretty good reputation for putting on a good show all around for all breeds. We love to have new exhibitors, and we have great exhibitors that are here year after year.
I'm here, son's here, and we've got grandkids that are showing too, so it's kind of a 4-generation ranch. So.
For Primetime Local News, I'm Cassandra Hornsby.
And now we're going to take a look at your stock market prices for today.
Turning to agriculture news, it's a very prestigious award for any family to get in the Midwest region. The Stockade Roundup is in its 40th year. Gerard Lampow tells us about this year's Cattleman Award.
Remembered him in a wheelchair all the time.
They're joining a tradition going back some 32 years. The Dow family, and especially the late Willard Dow, had to overcome some major hurdles and are being recognized as the 2018 Cattleman of the Year.
Well, if you come to working on machinery, helping to fix something, he would say, well, you can do it.
That was the attitude of Willard Dow, who married Margaret in 1953 on a hospital bed. He had contracted polio and did all his ranching and farming in a wheelchair.
Well, it was a big change for him and for both of us, because we had planned on moving here to the farm that he had bought in '45. And as it turned out, well, he had spent a lot of time in the iron lung and time in the hospital in Saskatoon. And
the couple had 7 children. Stephen and Daryl managed the cattle.
You'd crossbreed, right? Because we were in the commercials. And we crossbred to limousines, and we did some Charlets. And
Dale does the spraying and grain marketing and the elevator. David does machinery. In 2002, they bought the Sasqueet Pool elevator in Marsden. That's the time the drought and the BSE crisis hit. They did not sell any of their cattle. In the Lone Rock Unity areas, some 27 family members have been active in the 4-H beef programs. Mom Margaret, who milked 12 cows and sold cream back in the day, kept the family going.
Of course, the family farm, all farming together and getting along together. What can anybody ask for?
Gerard Lampow, Primetime Local News.
And that's it for agriculture news. Let's send it over to Gerard Lampow, who's over at the Stockade Roundup.
Stockade Roundup number 40, and I'm joined by Kent Carson, who is one of the main title sponsors here, Black Diamond Acres. Kent, it's a privilege to have this chat with you, certainly. What does this mean for you guys to be involved in the 40th year of Stockade Roundup?
It means a lot. We've been involved with the Stockade Roundup for a number of years now. We got lots of customers that buy the feed from us. We've been involved, myself, even with 4-H for a number of years, so it's nice to be here as a major sponsor and give back to the producers and the area in support of our business too. So it is an honor to be here for the 40th year celebration.
Yeah. Lots of great cattle, a lot of great genetics here in the Lloydminster and the Midwest region, and people come from all over the place, honestly, to be part of this. And I mean, that speaks to the breeders and to the genetics programs of the various producers.
It is, not only just the locals, but even the ones that come even around Edmonton west to east south. There's good genetics from all over, and it's nice to see them come out, and even the people that come out to watch the shows. It's been awesome traffic, and you get to meet new and old friends, and it's been great. It's an awesome awesome show.
It is.
We plan on being here for a number of years is our plan.
Another 40 maybe. Now listen, the 4-H program, that is the future, and you say you're involved in that as well.
Well, we are involved. We get lots of 4-H kids that buy feed from us. With our depots north of town here, with Ty Draves is one of our depots.
Yeah.
He's been great. And at Paradise Hill, they've been both. We get lots of 4-H people buying their feed from us. And it's nice that we can still be support on that end of it. Right. And
well, the big show is about to start up here now, and of course that means a lot more excitement. We'll have more from all the action at Stockade Roundup. It's back to you guys in studio.
Every member of the City Centre Auto Body team has been through extensive training. We're constantly upgrading our team's education to reflect current collision repair technique.
Switching over to sports now, the Lakeland Wrestlers basketball teams have critical matchups this weekend with Concordia Thunder in town. The women have one win after 4 games and are looking to shore up their play on both ends of the court.
Focus is defensively. We were pretty terrible Friday night. We've been struggling to score all year. That's nothing new for us so far, but a big thing is converting those easy opportunities, foul shots and layups that we had so many of on the weekend.
The women's game begins at 6 with the men's game to follow at 8, and the men are 2-2 and face a Thunder squad that sits first in the North. Both teams will travel to Edmonton tomorrow for the rematch. And the volleyball matchups against Concordia are another story. Both teams are coming off a bye week and have winning records. After a very busy preseason, having the bye week at the good time for the women's squad.
I think it was perfect timing for us, right kind of in the middle of the first semester, and so it broke that up, and now we got four weeks to run here.
The Wrestlers have had plenty of success against Concordia, but will need to stay sharp on first contact.
It can be a lot of scrappy play, so it's definitely ball control and being ready for anything, and unorthodox play, and being able to just play within our systems, no matter how the other team is playing, and just focus on our side and show what we have worked on.
The Wrestlers are in Edmonton tonight and are back home tomorrow. The women's matchup begins at 6 p.m. with the men following suit a half an hour afterwards. And the Lloyd Comp Barons men's volleyball team is competing in Vermilion this weekend for their final tune-up to district playoffs. The St. Jerome's Tournament, which features teams from towns like St. Paul, Marwayne, and Lashburn, is one more opportunity to solidify their play before traveling to Moose Jaw.
Get some confidence, get some few wins in, so head into district with lots of confidence and hopefully head to provincials.
The Barons play at 7:45 this evening and 9 p.m. tomorrow morning to finish round robin play. And the Holy Rosary Raiders football team is in action tonight in regional playoffs. Their opponent, Father Merck from Fort McMurray, is ranked 9th in the Tier 3 provincial rankings with a 4-1 record. The Raiders sit 2nd in their Tier 2 with only a pair of losses on the year, and both at the hands of the Lloyd Comp Barons in Wheatland play, and kickoff is at 6 p.m. And the Barons were victorious in their Tier 2 playoff against Holy Trinity this afternoon.
All right, switching gears to weather right now. We still have some light flurry action in the area, but should be tapering off this evening around 8 or 10 p.m. Currently sitting at -3 here in the border city, feels more like -8. And as we move through the map, -2 in Vermilion, -2 in Vegreville, 0 degrees in Edmonton, who saw quite a bit of snow early this morning, and even overnight some freezing rain. Luckily, we shouldn't be getting quite as much, and we will have a warm up tomorrow, which should melt the snow that we are seeing now. -3 in Marwayne, -2 in St. Paul, -2 in Bonnyville, -1 in Cold Lake. As we look over into the Saskatchewan side, -3 in Maidstone, -4 currently in North Battleford. Also some light flurry action in that area. -3 in St. Walburg and -3 in Meadow Lake rather. As we look up north, temperatures is all pretty much in the minuses. So Buffalo Narrow sitting at -3, -4 in La Ronge, a little bit warmer at -3 in Flin Flon. And over on the Alberta side, a little bit warmer, but not by a whole lot. -1 in Fort McMurray, -1 in Slave Lake. 1 degree just above the freezing mark there in Grand Prairie, and 0 degrees in Peace River. As we look down south, currently sitting in the over the freezing mark, which is nice for them. 2 degrees in Calgary, 7 degrees in Banff, one of the warmer spots in the province. 2 degrees in Lethbridge and 3 degrees in Medicine Hat. Over on the Saskatchewan side, couple of zeros in Moose Jaw and Regina there, -2 in Yorkton and -1 in Swift Current. Just want to bring up our snow accumulation map. As we can see, we're pretty much bordering on that 2 to 4 centimeter range, but it is quite a light flurry action. And then Sunday, we could see more of that rain-snow mix hitting there, but look at that, we're right on the cusp there. Shouldn't be sticking around there. But as we look to the wind speeds, we could reach some wind temperature or some wind speed gusts up to the 20-kilometer range. So do keep that in mind with our temperatures, as we are going to go into a bit of a cooling trend next week. So it is going to feel quite cool. Tomorrow, sitting for 3 degrees here in the border city, so we are going to be above that freezing mark, which means the snow should be melting. 2 degrees in Vermilion tomorrow, 4 for Vegreville, and 5 for Edmonton. Over on the Saskatchewan side, 3 degrees for North Battleford, 2 for Maidstone tomorrow. Looking at our 7-day forecast, so tonight the showers, the snow flurries should be tapering off around 9-10 p.m. tonight. 3 degrees tomorrow. Sunday we could see a rain-snow mix, but this will be into the evening, into the overnight, continuing possibly into Monday morning. -3 for the high there, and then we see that continuing through the week. -5 on Tuesday, and then -8 for the high on Wednesday. -12 there. -9 on Thursday. -15. Yeah, we're getting there. And then Friday, to round up our 7-day forecast, -6 and -15 for the low.
And as we head into the first weekend of November, you can enjoy 1 extra hour of sleep as daylight saving time comes to an end. Much of the country will turn their clocks back to 2 a.m. on Sunday and return to standard times. As much as we all get to sleep in, this also means that the sun goes down during evening rush hour, so drive safe. If you ever get confused on which way to turn the clock, just remember, spring ahead and fall back. And now we're going to head back to Gerard, who is at the Stockade Roundup.
Well, the action here at the Lloyd X is teeming here, really getting busy. I tell you what, we're chatting with Jim Graham. He's from Lone Rock, Saskatchewan. He has the Shorthorn breed. Jim, you were telling me earlier as we just looked behind us here that you were saying back in the day, 40 years ago, the cattle that you dealt with, they were much bigger.
Well, they were taller, couple frames bigger than what, taller. And
but earlier on, in the 50s, they were quite a bit smaller. There, but not like now. They've moderated some, and they're down to the quality has improved quite a bit, and
what do you remember about the show back in the day? Because you're a long-time exhibitor here at Stockade Roundup.
There wasn't as much preparation, like for grooming and getting them ready for the show as there is now, and it was, well, I'd say probably a little more relaxed atmosphere in the barn.
Yeah, and there was something you were telling me earlier about how the washrooms have changed out. Back in the day, there weren't any lights?
Well, they're pretty crowded and narrow and awful busy, because they're as close to anywhere from 1,000 head to 1,200, I guess, at some of the shows. And but they've made the facilities here, improved the washing racks quite a bit. This is probably one of the best wash rack systems in
all of Canada.
In all of Canada, yes.
I tell you what, Jim, how's it like on your operation now in terms of getting your cattle to a show like this?
It takes a lot of work, and we used to show 8 to 12 head most falls, but since 3 years ago I had a heart attack, and we've cut back on it, and now the grandchildren, they're starting to show, and we'll probably get more into it as they get older.
Jim, it's certainly awesome to chat with you. Jim Graham from Lone Rock, Saskatchewan, a long-time exhibitor here at Stockade Roundup, now in its 40th year. Guys in the studio, you're missing out on a treat. I'll send it back to you.
All right, well, Halloween is officially over, which means one of the next holidays for the stores is Christmas. But some people are saying it's a little too soon to have some Christmas decorations out. And actually, some stores in Manitoba have decided to ban all Christmas decorations until after Remembrance Day.
Right.
So our question of the day today was, is it too soon for Christmas decor and just Christmas displays? You say no.
Well, in a sense, no, but like it's like that Bob's Burgers meme, Happy November 1st, which is like setting up the tree. That's a little too much, but I mean, there is that point to you having it after Remembrance Day, which is a very important holiday here in Canada. But I think just because it's a nice mood lifter, that's just my thing, though.
But don't you think because it's out for so long, it almost loses its charm?
Yeah, that's my thing. Yeah. I think December, like you get the month and then that's it. Like I think you wait until, that's just me though, maybe.
Yeah,
I
agree.
I like just having it for the month of December.
I want to read one of the comments we got from Kelsey. She says, as a retail owner, we don't put our Christmas out merchandise to disrespect our veterans. We do it because we would have empty shelves after we take away our Halloween stuff.
Makes sense.
So it does make sense, but a lot of places in Manitoba are actually just putting out a veterans display on their empty shelves. So food for thought. It's an interesting discussion. Definitely weigh in on our question of the day, but right now we got to get to our pets of the day because they're just so cute. Look, this is Turtle drinking some milk right fresh off the farm. That was sent to us by Kristen. Next up, we have Fat Cat, and yes, that is the cat's real name. And that Fat Cat's ready for Christmas already. That's sent to us by Lori. Next up, we have Doug.
Oh my goodness,
puppy. Look at that. I love how his name is Doug. That was sent to us by Beth. Thank you for sending that in. This is Ellen the chicken. Wonderful pet there. That was sent to us by Claire. And then last but not least, we have these cuties that are cuddling up while watching a movie. This is Robert and Stevie, and that was sent to us by Janella. And we will be announcing this week's pet of the week winner, I suppose, at the end of the 6 o'clock hour. So make sure you stay tuned to see if you won.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to have them featured on Pet of the Day. Your name will be entered into a weekly draw for a gift certificate from the Pet Pad.
right, taking a last quick look at our 7-day forecast. Snow should be tapering off around 9-10 p.m. tonight. Tomorrow, no snow in the forecast, 3 degrees for the high, and then we could see some snow rain mix starting Sunday evening, possibly into the overnight, and then continuing into Monday morning. -3 there, and that's where we are going to see the minuses continue. -5 on Tuesday, -8 for the high, -12 for the low on Wednesday, -9 on Thursday, and then warming up a little bit to -6, but -15 for the low next Friday. We could see some possible flurries again next Friday, but hopefully it's far enough that we won't see that. Yeah, unfortunately, it's that time of the year. Yeah, we're seeing the snow out. But it's time to announce our winner for this week's Pet of the Day. Drum roll, please. Our winner is Tony. Tony, the beer drinking cat.
Tony is ready for the weekend.
Yeah, Tony, ready for the weekend. Unfortunately for Tony, I don't think they sell beer at Pet Pad, but you can get some treats there with your gift card. This is a cute photo. Thank you so much, Krista. We'll be in contact with you. And if you do have a pet and you would like a gift card, you can always enter here on Primetime Local News. We make the draw every Friday. But everyone have a great weekend, and don't forget to turn your clocks back an hour on Saturday. We'll see you next week.